Move over, kids. It's the Saturday podcast. How is everyone today? We have the original four horsemen of the apocalypse. I don't know who would be if we were the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Who would we be? William, who do you think you would be?
I don't know, but I think David's probably Death because you kind of meddle with that hair.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Death. I could see that. I was gonna
say Famine, but I like that.
Okay. So who? So. Then I guess who should I be? You guys, William, tell us who everybody is. So who am I then?
God. Let's see, we got war, pestilence,
War,
famine, and oh god.
I think there's like a fifth horseman too. Every once in a while, like they replace one with somebody else. It's
Bob.
like, huh?
Bob.
Bob.
Bob, yes.
Bob the horseman.
Bob. More, even death fears Bob.
Oh my god.
BoJack Norseman.
Darksiders is coming. Darksiders 2, that's based off the Horseman, and that's coming, to the Nintendo Switch, and so that means all three of the Darksiders games are going to be on the Nintendo Switch. That means there's only one left to go.
I'm still gonna play those.
I still need to too, because Darksiders 1 I heard is kind of like an adult Zelda game. It's like
That's our two.
I played it when it first came out. It is a really solid game. I didn't get that far into it, but it was fun.
Yeah, and it's from it's from THQ Nordic, and they're I don't know what I would call them. They're like double A. They're like a double A game. You know how everyone says triple A? It's like THQ Nordic is double A. Like really good, solid, but not quite. They're like Aldi's of supermarkets. If you know what they are, it's it's like a lot of people. They're like really big fans of Aldi's, the grocery store, but it's not quite Kroger's or HEB, depending on what part of the country you're in. I don't know. You guys know
they're the generic cereal of they're the crispy rice to the Rice Krispies.
Maybe they might be one above that actually. THQ Nordic, because it's like they got SpongeBob SquarePants. They have a couple of the big names that are like, why do you have that? And I only know they have SpongeBob SquarePants because they're going to remaster some GameCube game. But anyways,
I saw a really bad SpongeBob like knockoff toy, and somebody labeled it as Coral Bob Rectangle Knickers.
I would have probably bought that. If you go to that trouble to name it, I would have bought that. So
I think that's what somebody just named it out of. They just noticed it and then labeled it that.
Gotcha.
Toys are
I think it was a Crane game item.
Oh, gotcha. So let's talk to Death then. Hey, Death, how are you? Talking to you, David.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm just here, happy to be here. A little bit not as stressed as usual, so just kind of happy to see you guys and ready to talk some games.
Ready to play some games? So David was telling us that he's not stressed because you just got a giant project done at work, correct?
Correct. And I'm ready to tackle these guys.
And believe it or not, none of us are full-time YouTubers. We're all just guys that we have jobs, we have lives, and then we come here and then we talk about video games with you guys. I haven't been able to see the chat, so I hope someone's keeping an eye on it.
I'm watching.
I can't on this computer.
Gotcha.
We got Raquel just showed up.
Ooh, Raquel
showed up. EPS and Sid Patel are all here.
Sid Patel, what's up, my man? The very first winner of all time on Move Over Kids. And Raquel, awesome Raquel. We got to come up with a nickname for Raquel. That's just such a phenomenal name. Maybe it doesn't need a nickname. And what's up, EPS 5000? I wonder what happened to EPS 1000, EPS 2000. Like how many EPSs were there before we got to 5000? So, David, you said you're going to be playing... Oh, you didn't hear me. So, David, you said you're going to be playing Mario Maker 2 and Fire Emblem. Why haven't you played it already, basically? I get Fire Emblem. If you had a big project, Fire Emblem itself is a big project, just to play it. So, why haven't you dived into Mario Maker? It's like a month old now.
I don't know. You're right. You have a good point. I could probably fit in like a couple games per break, per lunch break or whatever. Um, I don't know. I really don't have a good excuse to be honest, but the good thing is that I'm trying to spearhead these guys in the next few days. So tomorrow, I think I really want to play some Fire Emblem.
So are you going to be oh, Raquel says she does need a nickname, so we'll have to put our brains together. Our brains united will equal at least like 1.5 brains at least. Um are you a Mario maker or a Mario player?
I'll make 2 stages and then I'll play the rest. When I played Mario Maker on the Wii U, I think I made 2 stages and then I just kept playing a bunch of stages from the people in the gaming scene. I would go and follow their profiles, and that's all I did.
Oh,
That's
Bandana Gamer, hi, how are you? I see you now. Um
so.
okay, who do you follow then? Who's in the gaming scene that you follow?
Back in the Wii U times, it was the game trailers guys, and I followed all of them. They actually had a segment called Don's Design Lab, and it was a guy named Don Casanova, and he made a bunch of levels. He would make a level. He would, what he would do is there's 9 of them, right?
Uh-huh.
Him one being one of the 9. So he would sit 4 down, and he would have 4 sit in the other room. And with those 4, he would create a level, right? And when 30 minutes was up or an hour, he would call the people from the other room to switch, essentially. And the people that were blindfolded or whatever will play the level that the initial 4 created. And they would switch back and forth. And it was really cool to see that, I don't know, kind of like a level creation in a haste manner. And it was really refreshing to see. It was fun. It was you could see a lot of people's cynical side come out saying, "Oh, add a trap here, or add a fake door, or add a fake."
That's how
block,
my
or
kids
whatever."
are. My kids are just like make
Tricksters.
everything impossible, and it's like I'm like I have to beat this board eventually, guys. Which I actually then just say you beat it. I made my kids beat the boards that I couldn't because kids they will just be relentless. What about you, Devin? Are you a Mario maker or a Mario player?
When it comes to that, I mean, I've tried to dabble in the making stuff. I'm not that good at it. The stuff that I'm trying to, like, I get irritated because it's not like very complex or anything like that. So I just like playing them.
And William, have you opened up Mario Maker yet?
I've opened it. I played through the story part. I've played some other people's levels. I'm planning on building some levels. It's just a matter of figuring out what I want to do. I have some ideas. I got to see if I can actually implement them correctly. Because I'm trying to do something kind of complex.
Uh-huh.
I want to do some sort of really cool like boss room, and I just got to figure out if I can do it correctly.
I want to make one of those like the Deku tree or the Death Star or something. Like these people, they make these really cool elaborate stages based off of something else, and I'm just like, how in the world did you think of that? Like I sit down and I think I'm gonna make the next really cool Zelda thing, and I have no idea whatsoever, and then someone comes up with the Windfish, and I'm like, why didn't I think of that? And I'm like, I literally sat down for an hour to think about something, and it's just like I have no idea what to make when the time comes. I tried to make it. I did actually make a one of those auto scroll, where you don't touch anything and it just happens. The board is so amateurish. It's funny if you look at it compared to like the pros making it, and it's just like I just don't know how these people do it. I just really don't know how they do it. So I've been like I've been meaning to get back into Mario Maker. Fire Emblem kind of took over. So David, you got to pick one or the other, basically.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do Fire Emblem because I live vicariously through you guys and everybody that's been playing it. I just feel like I'm getting some serious FOMO with not playing this game, and I don't want to feel that at all. So I'm gonna jump on it, it's kind of daunting when you hear people say, "Oh man, it's going to take 100 hours, it's going to take 200 hours," because I don't have that kind of time. But
Yeah, it's 200 hours. That's basically, well, supposedly it's 80 hours long per house. So like,
I was gonna ask if that was if all the houses are individual.
yeah, so it's per house, and I'm guessing you're doing a how-to or something because getting a new Switch. Yes, that was kind of the topic I wanted to ask you guys today. Has anybody? And Splatoon 2, when do you play Splatoon 2? It's been a while actually since I played Splatoon 2. I need to get into it, but they just did the last Splatfest, so that kind of like deters me even further of jumping back into Splatoon 2. I really love
I still
Splatoon
never finished
1.
the story on that one.
Yeah, Octopaths. I should get into it. I don't know, the Wii U gamepad really spoiled me on Splatoon. But in regards to N60 Formula has been playing Minecraft so hard on the Switch, my brain is in the shape of a cube. Did you know that Minecraft recently beat out Fortnite as the most searched game in the world?
I'm not surprised.
whoa.
Well,
Not
I mean,
surprised at all.
it's a
Something
10-year-old
beat Fortnite.
game. That's what's impressive about it. It's a 10-year-old game. So that speaks of two things. One, Fortnite is on the
Minecraft
decline.
So much, yeah, but Minecraft has so much more complexity to it than Fortnite does.
Yeah, and Minecraft is back somehow, some way, jumped back up. Because Minecraft was on the decline for a long time. Now, you could say that it's probably because of a couple things. Nostalgia. I mean, suddenly these 12-year-old players who played the game back in the day, now they're 22 and they have a job and they can actually spend some money. Have you seen PewDiePie's new series? No, I haven't. Is it Minecraft related? 60? And we got no. How do I pronounce his name, Devin? Because I get it wrong.
Noemi Dominguez.
Noemi Dominguez. Okay, I guarantee you I will pronounce that name wrong again, but at least I'm trying.
Yeah.
And Ken, come on, get with the pop culture. I know, man. I need to get a little more into the pop culture. That was one of the things I was thinking of doing, actually, more memes on the channel and stuff. And PewDiePie has changed his entire channel basically into a Minecraft series. That's interesting.
I still won't watch.
Yeah, I could. I wonder if I could do a
one of
Minecraft
the
series.
channels I won't watch.
I don't have any opinion towards him whatsoever. I watched one episode only because I wanted to see what all the hubbub was about. But that's what revolutionized. That's what PewDiePie. He's saying PewDiePie might be the reason why Minecraft spiked, and that could be it, because I do know, whether you like him or not, he does have reach. But I wanted to talk to you guys about the Switches. Are you going to get a new Switch? There are 2 Switches on the market right now. And let's say on the horizon, 3 years, within 3 years, there'll be a Pro. There's quite a possibility of a Pro because we don't know. But there is the new Switch Lite, which is predominantly for handheld gaming. And then there's another Switch, which is almost like the Switch version 2, which I was wrong when I did a video recently saying that it was all about a new battery. It's actually about a new processor, which makes the battery better, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I misspoke. But regardless, and EPS corrected me there. And also, I wanted to shout out James Fox, Nick Clayton, and Veronica David, the podcast mom. Are you getting a new Switch? Why not? We'll start with David. Do you need a new Switch? One of these new Switches, either the longer life 9-hour battery Switch, which is not necessarily new but is, or a Switch Lite.
I'll be getting a Switch Lite, I think, for sure.
Why a Switch Lite?
I know that when the Switch came out, it was advertised as portability and convenience, but I think this is going to really be the epitome of that. I'm going to Mexico in like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And I just wish that the Switch Lite would come out by then, so that I can take it on on the plane. Because when I took it to California, it was It's easier than packing up a Wii U, that's for sure. But there's still a little, there's still some things, some loose ends here and there that you have to make sure that you don't lose, like the Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
When I detach them, you have to attach them back. With the Switch Lite, you don't have to do that. It's all one form factor. And it's running on the same chip, I believe, as what we have now. And it's going to be portability, right? And it's going to be smaller. So it can truly fit in a pocket, I think. So yes, all the boxes are checked off. It's just, I wish there were better colors. I know that sounds kind of beggars can't be choosers kind of situation, because we have yellow, teal, gray, and then the Pokemon Sword and Shield variant. But I just want something else. I kind of want like this guy or something.
Pink?
Yeah, I'd rock pink.
Real men wear pink?
Oh yeah.
Okay. What do you think about the fact that it's no longer a Switch in essence, though? It's just a portable gaming system. You don't care that it can't connect to a TV?
No, because I know that I've got Big Brother at home. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I know that I can go home, and if I want to play Friday Night Smash with you guys and have a hardline connection, I can just pop it into that. It's there. It's ready to go. But if I want to finish up World of Light or get started on Fire Emblem here, Three Houses, if I really want to put a dent on this, I rest assured I can do that, because it's something I could just pop out and get to grinding. So
I'll tell you, Fire Emblem to me is best on portable. I will say that. And maybe that's because even though my favorite one was on the GameCube, Fire Emblem traditionally has been a portable series, so maybe I'm really just been tailored to liking Fire Emblem, but the words are so small that it's nice to have. You got to put your face right up on the Switch. What about you, Devin? Are you going to get any of the new ones?
The longer extended battery life, no, just don't see real point. The mini or light, whatever we're calling it, probably if they have a better like special edition, kind of like the Pokemon one.
Yeah.
What special edition do you need?
The only thing that would make sense to me is like I'm still gunning if they do a Zelda one, that I would an instant buy, or if there was like a Mario edition that had like the Mario hat on the back, or Luigi, or Luigi's Mansion for that matter.
Luigi's Mansion.
I would buy that in a second.
Okay. So you are waiting. Then you're like, I want a Switch Lite, but I'm waiting for something cosmetic.
Or if they had a Switch Lite that was red, I would be totally game it.
Ooh, red's a good, like, nice race car red or something.
Yeah, I love that.
That would be awesome, man. I think if they, not to take anybody's point here or interrupt, but if they gave us something like, with a little bit more personality, where I can just, like, for me, this guy is just plain and white, right? But then you open it up and you've got this beautiful array here. It's just primary colors, and you got this little guy, and it's like the perfect size for me. And then you've got customizable faceplates. I think Devin, you said, or you, William, you said that if the light had this customizable faceplates, oh, dude,
I think Nintendo is going to make all the colors of the rainbow. I basically think the Switch Lite is going to have just so many ridiculous amount of like colors and everything.
If you think about it, when the 3DS first came out, there was like a black, a blue. They eventually released a red one, and then that's how it's kind of sat stagnant for a little bit.
Right.
There's going to be more. I mean, and there's going to be more special editions. They've already proved that with the Pokemon Sword and Shield one.
Yeah.
And we've gotten at least 3 or 4 special editions on the normal Switch. Am I wrong? Both of the Pokemon's Diablo and
in Japan, there's a couple like
Monster Hunter,
Disney Zooms.
Well, I meant like here. We got both of the Let's Go's, Diablo, and I can't remember.
I know Fortnite had a bundle, but it wasn't like a special edition. Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah, Smash Brothers. That was the other one. But yeah,
Like, how did we
I'm
forget
pretty
Smash
confident
Brothers?
they're going to release another one. I'm waiting until that happens.
Uh-huh. Does anybody know if it has...
I
I haven't
think
heard anything.
The console itself runs off of Bluetooth because of the Joy-Cons, I would assume.
We actually don't know the specs for it, right?
I don't. I'm not like that much of a specs guy. I just knew that, they're kind of changing out the processor in order to, just to make it smaller. So I know like the bare bones of the thing. I don't know like somebody today. I got to reply back to him, was telling me how some YouTuber took it apart and they said they put like a temperature gauge on the display and the display's a little different, and I was like, whoa, that dude went all
There is
out.
specs up. There is specs up.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Well, the CPU and GPU is custom NVIDIA Tegra processing. The RAM is thought to be 4 gigs like the original Switch, but unconfirmed. The same 32 gigabyte with upgradable micro SD. Connections is the Wi-Fi 802.11 AC, and it does have Bluetooth, NFC. So
So the answer is yes, it does have Bluetooth, and EPS 5000 is actually echoing that, saying that you can use Joy-Cons or Pro controllers. So yes, it would have the Bluetooth capability.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because they did say that you could still hook up the Joy-Cons, just not physically hooking them up. That's how the original ones work, is through Bluetooth connection.
And James Fox is saying he's heard that the upgraded Switch is brighter. I've heard certain things like like in the Korok Forest of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, it runs smoother. So there's like slight little differences here and there that I've heard, and I don't know.
I saw that video. I didn't watch the video. I have it saved though.
Yeah, and that's from the Game Explain people, so don't think it's like me.
You guys follow Digital Foundry at all?
Well, maybe it was Digital Foundry.
I know them. I just haven't really watched that much stuff for them because I've seen too many people use it as fuel to argue over specs.
Okay, yeah, they're I guess very technically savvy people that break down hardware and run tests and stress tests on these things. And I like them for the most part, but like William said, I mean, people use it as fodder, as like, oh, the Xbox and the PS4 and whatever. But I like watching. I think they had a breakdown of Final Fantasy 15 running on like each respective Pro system, like the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. And I love watching that stuff. And they're very nice to Nintendo. It's not like they completely dismiss Nintendo because obviously Nintendo can't hold a candle when it comes to graphical fidelity or technical prowess.
You
right?
take that back.
Never. Well, but just
I'm just joking.
Just speaking on like factual terms, like that stuff doesn't strike my fancy, but that's the truth, right? Because Nintendo wins on so many other things, but yeah, check them out. Digital Foundry. Ken, you'd probably like to watch something like that, because they're probably going to break down the light. They probably may have already broken down the new Switch model as well. So
sometimes I'm afraid of watching stuff like that because, like, then I'll just like quote it and not reference it or tell people I'm quoting it because it's just in my brain. And so sometimes I'm afraid of watching something that I will plagiarize it on accident. Does that make like? I don't want to plagiarize anybody, so sometimes I'm afraid to watch people.
Like I'm getting paranoid about things that I say on my videos too.
Because it's like, wait a minute, and that's just something I got to get over because it's just kind of silly. But like, yeah, I'm just a little afraid. Like the other day, I was like just talking about Huskies for about 20 minutes, and I was like, 60 formula, he's gonna come at me. Just kidding, I wasn't talking about. Kevin Kenson did a video on the new Switch. I don't know who Kevin Kenson is, but if anybody has a channel or anything you guys want to promote, go for it. I don't care. I'm not saying that James Fox is Kevin Kenson. I'm just saying, like, if you guys have something that you guys are like passionate about, like, throw it in there. I don't care. If you guys think that Spawnwave has the best news in the morning, throw it in there. I mean, I'm open to hearing everything. There are some YouTubers that don't like me though, but there's some YouTubers I don't like. William, what about you? What are you getting?
Yeah, I'm not gonna pick up the revised version, but I will pick up the light, simply because Margo wants her own system. She doesn't want to use my Switch, so
And
I'll
Margo
pick
is
up that
your
one.
wife?
Yes,
Okay, so you're about to become a 2 Switch household, and for everybody in your household is about to have a Switch.
it's already a 4 3DS household.
Nice. Um, what model is Margot gonna get?
She wants to get the light, the Pokemon model.
Oh yeah, that's the one I'd be getting right now. If I was getting one, I would be all about that Pokemon one. I mean, because it's like there's no difference in price. My only fear, I don't like white controllers or things like that, only because I'm afraid. I have kids and stuff, and I don't want them to get dirty, because you can clean controllers, but eventually you can't if it gets too dirty. My kids aren't dirty anyways, though, so I don't really got much to worry about. But at the end of the day, your hands, they have oils on them and grease and all this stuff, and eventually over time. So that would be my only fear and concern with that model for myself. But yeah, I would still be all about it. If I had a choice between a normal yellow or a special edition, almost always I'm going the special edition.
And at least it's not doing what the what some of the did back in the day and start to yellow.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
believe that was part of the this chemical they put in it for like fire protection or something like
Yeah,
that.
it was for fire protection on the Super Nintendo. That's why it started turning yellow.
Yeah,
Not all of them did, though.
the one I have that was my grandfather's, not yellowing.
Yeah, the one I have in my storage box behind me is in perfect condition, just right out of the 90s.
60 makes a good point. Boogers show up on white really easy. He's guilty. That's what it is. I'm just like snot running down my face. I'm not getting up. I gotta say Princess Zelda.
Yeah, I'm not going like, okay, meh, and then just get back to playing.
Right.
I've never had that hardcore of a Zelda session where I had to do that.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. You start the water temple. You got to finish the water temple because you don't want to pause and take an hour break. That water temple has to be solved. To be solved.
Very true.
So what else is going on? So it sounds like everybody is kind of wanting to get the Switch Lite. I am holding off. If there is a Zelda Switch, I don't care what it is, I'm gonna buy it. It could be the Switch. They could release a 3DS right now, an original 3DS with Zelda on it, and I would buy it. So no matter what, any Zelda Switch I'm gonna get. But I don't think I'm gonna get a Switch Lite or a new Switch right now. I'm holding off for a Pro. I'm gonna hold off for the Pro.
I'm just glad they haven't announced. I'm just glad they haven't announced versions that include a game and it's digital only. I was so tired of that on the other systems. Now, granted, I don't typically pick up variations of systems like you guys were mentioning, like a Fire Emblem version and stuff like that, and it would include the game. I just don't pick those up at all. I've never felt a need to pick up a completely new system because of the style of it, like just a cosmetic change to it. And when they offer a game that's digital, it's like, I don't want a digital game. I want a physical one.
You're the kind of collector that I wish I could be. But I'm telling you, man, when Link or Zelda is on a console, like, I need to get it. Like, I bought the Smash Brothers console because Link's in it. I bought the Diablo console because Ganondorf's in it. And it's like, gosh, what a waste of money. And yet I'm still compelled to do it. You know what I mean?
Now here's what I wish they would do with stuff like that. Put a coupon in the box. And it's good for one free copy of the game that's advertised on that coupon. And it could be a physical copy or a digital card from the store. That's what they should do.
Yeah.
I would love that, but I don't think there's any going back for Nintendo because Diablo, Smash Brothers, Pokemon, Let's Go, all three of them they were all included the download code.
Yeah.
So
But
Nintendo,
I think doing that, they could still offer the free game and let people get the game in a way that they want it.
yeah, I wish, but I just don't see it happening. It would be nice if it did, though.
Yeah, it would be.
It's kind of like with the My Nintendo, the rewards, all digital now.
Gosh, my Nintendos were so cool.
Now. Or it's something you have to print out yourself because they're offering new covers for Three Houses.
Yep.
They're
So my
offering-
Nintendo,
but you have to print them out.
yeah. So it's like, and most people don't have that capability to print out a nice, clean cover like a Switch case. My Nintendo rewards, basically, what those are is if you buy a certain number of Nintendo games, you earn a number of points. You can spend those points either they add up as money, but the money is like obnoxiously low. I'm a Nintendo fanboy. I usually stick up for Nintendo, but not for their program.
They only offer a fraction of the gold coins for a physical copy than they do for digital.
I would almost rather them not offer anything, to tell you the truth, because it almost seems insulting. It's like you spend $60 on a game and they give you 60-cent coupon. That's what, on one hand, 60 cents, but on the other hand, it's like, dude, 60 cents, just don't give me anything. It's like when you're waiting around for your 3 cents at the grocery store, you're like, you know what, I'm good. Let me just get out of here.
Just give me 3 bags in place of those 3 cents.
Right. That reminds me. If anyone's in California, I don't know if this will offend you. When David and I went to E3, California doesn't. We bought something, and they were like, "Do you want a bag with that?" And I was like, "Yeah, give me a bag." And then they were like, "Okay, that'll be 10 cents." And I was just like, "What?" I was just so taken aback. Usually, I'm very like I can be like culturally sensitive, but I was just like taken aback by it, and I was like, 10 cents? Are you kidding me? And then they gave me the bag, and it was a really nice bag. I was like, you know what? This bag is worth 10 cents. I'm very happy. I gave them a card, and I was like, that'll be a nickel.
My town implemented that they're not offering plastic bags anymore. You go to the store, you go to the little convenience store, it's all paper bags now.
Yeah, I like paper bags. 60 formula says 60 cents. And Black Friday, I bet we do get Black Friday stuff. I bet we're going to get a Black Friday Switch Mini. And I don't think it'll be a $200. I think it'll be a $200 Switch, but I think it's going to be coming with a game. I bet it comes with Mario Maker or Mario U, a game that, like, I don't know, but it's going to be a digital. So it'll be a $200 Switch with a game. And that's my guess. Or it'll be a completely new Switch, like the Switch Lite Zelda edition or something like that.
So do you think they're going to try to do like they did with those black and white 3DSs a while ago?
Yeah, that's what I think they're going to do. Now, the difference with that is, though, those black and white 3DSs, they drop those to $100. I don't think they can afford to drop the Switch to $100 or even $150. That's why I think they're just going to throw a game in or make it a special Black Friday Zelda edition, Link's Awakening edition. That would be insane. That's the one thing that gets me out on Black Friday. Zelda stuff. It's all that matters.
Yeah, very true.
David, did you play Link's Awakening when it first came out?
David is checking on his dog.
I mean, not David. William.
What was the question?
Did you play Link's Awakening when it first came out?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was funny thing is, I got the game, and the next day, I went off to Boy Scout camp. So I got to play for a little bit, and then I went off to camp and couldn't bring it with me. So all through that week camp, it's like, I want to play my game.
Oh man, I remember Link's Awakening. I played that under a tree. Oh man, I'll tell you what though. That was.
I knew the game inside and out at one point. There were glitches that you could do in that game. At certain points, you could do these glitches that you'd cut through a wall into like the spot next to it wouldn't be like what was supposed to be over there. It was weird. There was one part in the game, I can't remember where it was. I glitched through the wall to one of the boss fights and completed that boss fight and got the heart and the instrument before I was supposed to.
Oh yeah. I saw somebody get one of the instruments at E3, and like that was the furthest you could get, and they did it. Me, I was just trying to get the Yoshi from the crane.
I noticed
that's how I spent my 10 minutes.
The way that is.
Huh?
They changed that all around. Actually, they changed the way the crane game works all around. I was watching video of it.
What else? Okay, so I always ask you this every once in a while. Theoretical questions, William. Will you consider the new Link's Awakening remake, because you have like what 1,600 games or something, but you don't count doubles? You know, a player's choice edition of Animal Crossing is the same as a Black Label, so that doesn't count. Do you consider Link's Awakening for the Switch a second game to the Game Boy, or is it the same game?
Yeah, it's a new game.
So they count as two games then.
Yes, they count as two games.
All right.
For me, when it doesn't count as a second game, is if it's like the same copy of a game. Like if I had two copies of Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, but I would consider Link's Awakening and Link's Awakening DX to be two separate games.
Gotcha. Okay. I got a question for Devin. Devin, is here a philosophical question. Is this, if I were to be putting like a like how many separate items do I have in my hand right now? If I was to be marking it down, do I have 2 items, or is this just a double? Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I used to be on the basis of wanting to have sealed Amiibo. Like, I still have a few sealed ones, like the special ones to me, but mostly right now I'm going for a complete open collection, of which I almost have. But right now I would consider it to be 2.
So this is 2 items, 1 open, 1 sealed. You don't consider this just one. You don't just consider this a double.
No.
What about you, David? Is this a double, or is this 2 separate items?
I see that as 2 separate items, because if I wanted an amiibo of a character I really liked, I want an open one and I want a sealed one. And to me, that's 2 items because I'm enjoying them in 2 different ways. But it's hard because if someone was like, "Well, how many Ryu amiibos do you have?" Or sorry, how many amiibos do you have? I'd probably just say, "I've got, one Ryu amiibo." I probably wouldn't specify that I have 1 open and 1 closed unless if I was asked or something.
Gotcha.
So it's I guess it's circumstantial.
It's a philosophical. It's a first world gamer problem.
It's 2 items, but if I was putting it on my list, it would count as, okay, I have Link. To the side, I have 1 open and 1 sealed.
Right.
Gotcha. Who's excited for Astro Chain? Anybody excited for Astro Chain here?
I am. I actually had something to say about Link's Awakening. I don't know if you want to go back.
Let's
Ken.
go back.
I don't know if you're.
I love Zelda. Let's go back.
Ken, so how? I don't remember really playing Link's Awakening. It was such a long time ago. Is it a long game? I mean, was it? How many hours did you guys see yourself putting into it?
Well, you got to remember it's a Game Boy game. So the fact that they did what they did was amazing, because you could be playing that game under a tree. Like, I can't stress that enough. I played that game under the tree in my front yard. It was so cool. But I don't think Game Boy games are very long. So they did a good job at stretching it out because there's this like trading system and everything. But I got to say that it's probably you know, I was also like, what, 8, 9 years old playing that game, so it's hard for me to remember.
Yeah.
But I would be surprised if it was longer than 30 hours.
So in this day and age, you know, if Link's Awakening is
Well, 60 Formula is saying 70 hours easy. So,
well, my question pretty much is like, are you guys worried that people will say it's just a carbon copy remake? It's not bringing anything new, and people will probably fly through the game. Are you worried on that front? I'm just posing the question. I'm not agreeing with that. But
My answer to that, if somebody says it, is why does it matter?
yeah.
The game comes out, people will enjoy it.
I'm honestly, that's,
Sure.
you know what, William, you're like a Zen master. You're like, you give the answers that I wish people gave, but I, on the other hand, I do worry that people are going to say that. And the reason why I worry is only because I want people to love Zelda so much. And they're coming off of Breath of the Wild, and they're about to jump into another $60 game, and I'm afraid that some people will get a bad taste of the Zelda series if 60 says he was kidding about 70 hours. So if I'm right, and it's a 30-hour game and people were used to Breath of the Wild, I'm afraid that it would sour the taste of Zelda. And I just love that series so much that like when someone tells me I don't like Zelda, I'm like, what? You know?
And how do we know they're not keeping something secret, that there's going to be some additional content that we don't know about?
And we definitely don't. And if they did, that would settle that. Like if suddenly they put link between, or link to the past with it, that would be enough. But I just don't see them doing that because we're so far into the game, or so far into, like, it releases in in a month, in like 10 days. So I just don't know. They did add stage builders or dungeon builders. It's like that's the new thing.
I think that's kind of our additional content that we're getting, whereas the DX version had those color dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's their solution to, well, we're not really doing the color dungeons anymore. Let's put this in its place.
Plus, I think it's a very welcomed game in a day and age of JRPGs. I mean, the Switch is a JRPG machine right now.
Yeah.
So, and especially with a game like Fire Emblem, where people are spending 80 hours per house. Link's Awakening is probably going to be a nice welcomed, maybe weekend completion, maybe a week completion. You know what I mean? So, I think the other side of the coin will be very satisfied. I'm just posing the questions and kind of playing devil's advocate. You know, like how do you think the overall consensus will be?
Yeah, I think people
like imagine Mario Maker, where you have a stage that's in Super Mario 3 layout. You click a switch and it's in Super Mario 3D World layout. What if someone poses the question, oh, Link's Awakening is really just that, a flip of the switch, you flip the graphics, and it's the same old game? I mean, what's your argument against that? What's, just to pose the question?
I would think that'd be cool. Like,
they're also brand new graphics as well. It's not like they didn't. It's because with Mario Maker, no, those are existing graphics for the most part. No, they're basically copying and pasting a bunch of them, but you also have some new ones. But
hey,
Zelda,
I want to do a quick shout out.
A brand new art style for this new one.
Without changing the subject, just a quick shout out to Hadoken86. I just want you to know that I'm reading your stuff. He wishes you could translate RPG Maker. He's asking, has anyone played truck racing? And here's a question: what is the longest Game Boy game? So just I just want you to know that I haven't. Like, I'm not ignoring you. Sometimes we do get into conversations that run a little longer. I don't know. I would just hope that I hope there is something extra but I personally would be content. Man, I'll tell you what, I love that game. Everybody now says how much they loved it, but I did a top 5 Zelda list before that game was announced, and it was number 5, all right? It beat out A Link to the Past. Barely. It barely beat out Link to the Past, but I consider this game better than Link to the Past. And Link to the Past is typically ranked top 10 games of all time. I just loved this game so much. So for me, $60 is no problem. And the art style, like when everybody was like, "Oh, what's this art style?" I was not like that. I was like, "Oh, this is cool." You know, I drank the juice immediately. It was offered. I drank it. I loved it. So I do worry though still that people get so mad. They just get so mad over the $20. They're like, "Oh, this is a $40 game. This is a $40 game." And it's like, how do you know it's a $40 game? Nintendo's giving us $40 games like Captain Toad, and they're still adding content to Captain Toad. They just made it VR. So if Nintendo says it's a $40 game, or if they say it's a $60 game, I kind of err on the side that Nintendo's going to be straight up with us. You know what I mean? When Luigi U came out, that was a $30 game. It was just because they knew that they kind of used the same engine and this and that. Nintendo obviously thinks it's worth $60, and Nintendo has always been pretty good about not trying to gouge the customers, to the point that there's a phrase, Nintendo hates money. You know what I mean? So if Nintendo's saying it's $60, then obviously I think that it's $60.
Well, they had to remake a game from the ground up. It's not like they took the Game Boy game and just tweaked the graphics. It's not what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I was trying to look to see if there was a list of what the longest Game Boy games were, and I'm finding a list that's listing Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color games on it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it was supposed to be top 10, but I'm only seeing 8 here. But they were listing Final Fantasy IV Advance for the Game Boy Advance, Dragon Warrior Monsters on the Game Boy Color, Oracle of Ages, the Fire Emblem that was on the Game Boy Advance, Golden Sun Lost Age. So it seems like the only Game Boy Color, that's the closest to original Game Boy, was Dragon Quest Monsters, Oracle of Ages, and Pokemon Gold.
Pokemon Gold? And how many hours are they saying? Like 70, or are they not saying?
It's not saying.
Okay, so there you go.
It doesn't have a list.
Hadouken, Hadouken is, what am I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Hadouken.
Hadouken?
Like Street Fighter.
Oh, okay. Hadouken. So William says that it's Pokemon is the closest we can find to a long game for you.
And I'm calling bull on their list though, because I found their number 10 and number 9. Minish Cap.
Nah, Minish Cap wasn't that long.
That's a short game. Yeah, Minish Cap is not that long.
It's a great game, but not that long.
Oh, it is fantastic.
That's what I want to see. I want to see all the Zelda games remastered. I want every single Zelda game. I don't care what they are. You remaster Triforce Heroes and put it on the Switch, okay? You can
I would
do
actually
anything.
want to see Triforce Heroes come to the Switch.
Huh?
I don't think that got as much love as it should have.
I got it for $5 the other day at 5 and Below.
Yeah, 5 and Below, Triforce Heroes. So buy 3 of them so one day you can play with your kids.
Triforce Heroes and Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer.
Happy Home Designer.
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Some of the 5 and Belows were starting to get the Happy Home Designer cards, and
Whoa.
don't need them.
You want to know something?
I gotta go look in the mall. I'm no longer driving near the mall anymore because of my new job.
How's the new job treating you?
It's going well.
Yeah, you kind of have to say that.
Yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning the process of how the mail gets sorted and
don't say anything
shipped
bad.
out to the post offices.
Don't say anything bad. Just say the Postal Service is the greatest invention of all time. You know what I'm most hyped about? I don't know why, but the hype for Animal Crossing is just getting bigger and bigger for me. I might actually be more hyped about Animal Crossing than I am about Link's Awakening. And it's maybe because
more on it though.
Huh?
I need to see more on it though.
Ken, do you need to go to the hospital?
Why? Oh yeah, tell you what. It's the reason is maybe if it was now Breath of the Wild 2 is my number one game. Okay, so Breath of the Wild 2 is like the thing that I'm most hype about, and it might be because I played Link's Awakening before and I remember it so vividly, and it's gonna be cool to play it again because I'm not one of those people that go back and play a game that I beat a lot. I generally don't do it. I did it with Wind Waker, and I'm doing it right now actually with Majora's Mask, and gosh, but I'm doing it Majora's Mask on N64, and I remember why I hated that game, because I'm doing it on the N64 version, and they don't have like the toggle, the this, the that. It's so, gosh, I hated that game. Sorry, Devin, I know you love that game. Why do you like Majora's Mask?
Just its overall weirdness. Like,
yeah, it is very weird.
It would just always struck me because I remember playing that game with my brother for the first time, and I had a horrible nightmare about the moon coming down and crashing into Earth. But I just loved it so much.
Oh my gosh, guys! Just in case nobody knowed, I forgot to tell everybody this. The podcast has condensed to an hour long, so we go now from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're about to hit. We're getting close. We're at the 9-minute mark, so T-minus 9 minutes. But Animal Crossing for me is just. I didn't play New Leaf. I didn't play it on the Wii. The last time I really played it was on the GameCube, and I'm just itching. I'm itching to play Animal Crossing again. It's like finally all the cards have aligned, and to me, Animal Crossing it's like this is everything on the Switch is a Switch effect. For some reason, if it's on the Switch, it seems to be a better game, something more anticipated. Has there been any duds on the Switch that Nintendo has released so far? That Nintendo has released? Like, even Mario Tennis, which is a game that I don't like, seems to be a pretty popular game for Mario Tennis aficionados. Am I wrong?
How well did 1-2 Switch sell?
Yeah, 1-2 Switch. It's actually in the millions. I think it's like 1.2 million. Now,
we haven't been hearing much else again about what was that one? The fighter they released near the launch.
Oh, ARMS. You're right. ARMS was the one that. ARMS is the one that.
ARMS sold a lot, though.
Did they sell a lot?
It did.
It did. You'd be surprised how much it sold. I don't know the exact number, but it sold enough to warrant a sequel, I think.
Let's see. Not to get off topic. Not to get off topic, but do any of you guys play OSRS? I love Animal Crossings. What's OSRS?
I think she's talking about RuneScape.
RuneScape. I do not. I am a pretty hardcore I bleed Nintendo, and it's like a lot of the games that I mentioned today in my PSA, I had to reach far back into my PlayStation 3 catalog to name some violent games, because I was like, Nintendo doesn't have much violent games except for Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem is a violent game. What about you guys? Do you play what is it, RuneScape or
RuneScape? Yes, it stands for Old School RuneScape.
Old School RuneScape. Does anybody play?
I used to ages ago. Noemi and Raquel tried to get me to play it on my cell phone. I just haven't done it yet.
Ooh, maybe that's something we'll need to do. Old School RuneScape. What's the premise, Devin?
It's an RPG that it used to be on the a PC. I think it was actually like a web-based RPG. But dude, the last time I played it was like at least 8th grade. So I don't remember a lot about it.
You know what? Hats off, though. If you're keeping a game like that alive, I love the people who keep Magic the Gathering alive, Pokemon card gaming alive. You know, people who, when they say rogue, you know, if you're one of the people that keep it alive, the dream, because if it wasn't for people like that, you wouldn't have Banjo-Kazooie and Smash Brothers right now. It's the people who keep the dream alive that are the people that we need in video gaming, the people who don't just go on to the next game. So Naomi and Raquel, you gals rock. But that said, I don't play the game. All right, 4 more minutes. What do you guys, is anything you're looking forward to? What's in the next coming week or whatever? I know you're about to play some. Are you actually going to play, David?
Yeah, I'm going to play some Fire Emblem, but then you mentioned Astral Chain. I'm like, man, I really need to finish this out so I can play that.
Why don't you talk Astral Chains for a minute, because I know a lot of people are excited about it, but what makes you so geeked?
Oh, it's a Platinum game. It's a Platinum Games game. And if anybody's played their games, then you would know that
unique, to say the least.
Right. I've said games like 4 times in the last 2 sentences, but yeah, if you play Bayonetta or Beautiful Joe or Wonderful 101, I mean that's those games, you know, they have merit and they're very loved and well received among the gaming community. But Astro Chain I think it's gonna be no different. I think it's a good stepping stone, so to speak, before we get Bayonetta 3. And it's a new IP with, I think, a unique gameplay style. And it's probably like a very mature version of Pokemon is what I'm seeing. So
you think so?
Yeah, because you capture these legions, right? These spirits. And you kind of capture them like you capture Pokemon, and they become part of your arsenal or your team.
Mm.
So that's kind of the only way I know how to explain it. And then you fight against evil things. So yeah, it's exciting. That's all kind of the only way I know how to sell it. My selling point is if you like Platinum games, and you'll probably like this game. So.
What about you, William? I know you said you're about to come off of 8 days in a row. On day number 9, what are you going to play?
I have to see if I can get into Fire Emblem. Also been getting back into
it's almost a chore. It sounds like a chore to you.
I keep trying to go play, and it's just been, I'll lay down in bed. I go to start to play, and I'm like, I am too tired to play right now.
Yeah. That game, dude, I'll tell you what, I restarted Fire Emblem. Someone told me I needed to do a second impression video because I'm like the only person on the internet that did a bad impression of Fire Emblem. And I love Fire Emblem. Gosh, I love Fire Emblem. But man, oh man, it took me forever to get into it. And some of the side quests are just lame-os. But I'm starting to figure out some stuff because I restarted because I wanted to get into the House of the Lions or whatever, the blue team. And so I restarted, and it's going a lot quicker this time, but that's because I can skip a lot of the cutscenes. And, man, I'm still, it still took me 2 hours, though. Still took me 2 hours to get into 3 battles.
Yeah,
so,
my friend at work, I got him into Fire Emblem, and he was very reluctant. He's like, I'm not going to play this weeb game. And I was like, okay, very okay. So,
and then that word to me is just a, to me, that's a word that shouldn't be used on the show because of our policy of no swearing.
That's
just how I am with the word.
Oh, okay. But
that's how I am with it. It's some people are not like that at all.
Gotcha.
Right. Where was I? So he's like, I'm not gonna get the game, and I was like, you gotta get it, man. You gotta get it. I think because he's into strategy games and the like. And then that was Friday, and then Monday, he's like, I hate you. And I was like, why? What'd I do? He's like, my social life did not exist this weekend because he apparently did 24 hours in 3 days.
Oh my gosh.
And he's still playing it right now. So he's like, I'm in my second house, and he's like super into it now. And now he actually wants to revert back to the older Fire Emblem titles, which is great.
Oh man, tell him hold off. Tell him do Awakenings next, and hold off on the GameCube one as long as he can.
Is it not as did it not age well?
No, I think it's awesome. I love the GameCube one.
Just
so
the
it's
price?
like almost to let it be the last one he gets.
Yeah. That's I think, and I also told him that if he can't afford it, because I don't blame anybody that doesn't want to dish out $120, right, to play a Fire Emblem game. He could just, find means to play it in another way
Mhm.
without, crossing that threshold there. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and
I'm just glad I'm recruiting people into the Nintendo world because he has a Switch. I actually convinced him to buy a Switch too. So this guy's very
that's good. I
convincing.
tell everybody whenever I get somebody, I'm like, now you have to go and tell someone to buy a Switch. They're like, what? I'm like, you got to spread the news. It's like I always try to get like try to talk people in.
Oh man, I've convinced a good amount of people. My dad has this friend in Mexico who's an investor, and he has two twin boys, man. And I met them, and they're about your kid's age, Ken. They're like, how old's the oldest?
7.
They're 8, and I met them, and they were playing Minecraft on their each respective 3DS
Nice.
with each other, right? And I was like, hey guys, there's a thing called a Nintendo Switch. You could play. Do you know who Mario is? And they're like, yeah. And then like you can be Mario and you can beat up Luigi. And I was selling it to them, right? I planted the seed in their mind, and then I said, oh, and you could play Minecraft too. Like that was the thing that was like, what? And
Minecraft.
so fast forward 3 months later, their dad messages me on Instagram, and he's like, I hate you so much.
A lot of
don't
people
like me
a lot of
after
people
I
hating on
convinced
you.
Because he posted on his story 2 Switches. He couldn't just buy one. 'Cause they're
Nice.
kids, right? They're gonna fight over it. So that's like what I think he's probably spent $1,000 on what he paid there.
Good, because you know what? we gotta spread the Nintendo love. That's how we're gonna get Nintendo the third party support for the years to come. But
Ken, what would you say if Cornelius was like, Dad, I want my own Switch now?
I'd be like, go talk to your mom because she's the one that's gonna make that decision. And then I would try to talk to her. I'm like, come on, I would talk. It would happen somehow, some way. It would happen for like Christmas,
Yeah.
because on one hand, I know it's just a giant waste of money, but on the other hand, I want my kid to have a Switch. I want him to have a Switch. But we are at the hour time limit. We're a little over. We're still getting used to this hour time limit. EPS 5000. I would play an M-rated Pokemon game that contains blood, but it would be weird. I'd probably actually be against it at first, but once I saw it in action, I would probably, be okay with it. But any M for mature Nintendo game is kind of weirds me out, to tell you the truth. So any closing words, Devin?
No, I'm just going to be getting off of here and going to play Doom 3.
Doom
again.
3. Okay, how about you, William?
Yeah, I'm gonna say no. End of September. Come see Devin and I, Retro World Expo, September 28th and 29th at the Connecticut Convention Center.
All right, so all our Connecticut fans, please make sure you keep aware that at the end of September, Devin and William here are going to be at a convention center. We'll talk more about it in the future as it draws closer, but it's in Connecticut.
We'll put a video out too.
Yep.
Yes, in Connecticut.
And David, anything to close out with?
Yeah, I just want to say EPS, I'm glad that you've played Bayonetta 1 and 2. And I'm sure you and I are both excited for Bayo 3. So, yeah.
So, all right, Cool, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Please let us know if this hour isn't enough for you guys. I think it allows us to get more meat into the show. I'm personally digging the hour, but it does allow us to run just a little over because we're used to 2 hours, so please pardon our dust while during construction. Guys, it's dangerous to go alone. Please share this channel with a friend. You don't have to share this video because it's a podcast, but please share the channel with a friend and have yourselves a great